should see this whole thing now. Garden.
And then I'm like, going to the public market because they're
Lofted. Oh, and pitch it late. Grigsby's going to break it. Grigsby's in.
Almost 8 yards.
Oh, he's got a wide open Kai Harris for the touchdown. Welcome to Shawnee Mission District Stadium at Shawnee Mission South. Tonight's matchup between the 1-4 Shawnee Mission West Vikings and the 3-2 Olathe East Hawks. I'm David Compton doing play-by-play. DJ Turner and Josh Compton doing the analysis. Chris Turner doing the camera and game analysis. Todd and Caleb Walker handling stats. Shawnee Mission West is 1-4 this season, coming off a 32-15 loss to Olathe West. The Owls scored with a minute left in the first half to take a 19-7 lead in the locker room, and Olathe West outscored the Vikings 13-8 in the second half to provide the final margin. Olathe East is 3-2 on the season, coming off a 48-8 win against Shawnee Mission North. The Hawks scored 28 points in the first quarter and led 34-0 at half, en route to an easy victory. Coach Tim Callahan is 104-67 overall at West, but West is 5-6 in the last 11 games against Olathe East, including a 28-23 loss in last year's contest. It was a tale of two halves as East jumped out to a 28-0 halftime lead, but the second half was all Vikings as they scored 23 points, but the comeback fell just short. Olathe East finished last year's regular season at 3-5, but upset Blue Valley in the first round of the 6A playoffs before losing to Shawnee Mission East in the second round. Tonight is homecoming for Shawnee Mission West, so halftime will be a presentation of the homecoming candidates and the crowning of the court. The Shawnee Mission West Band will perform at post-game show, so please stay tuned for that after the game. And we'll start here with the Shawnee Mission West Band as we get started, and then we'll get into some pregame keys to victory and impact players to watch.
Provide positive learning experiences and opportunities for personal growth of the participants. We are pleased to host our guest tonight from Olathe East. This competition is being conducted according to the rules of the Kansas State High School Activities Association. Let's all work together to promote and achieve good sportsmanship. Good luck to both teams. Ladies and gentlemen, as you watch this game tonight, be thankful we have the proper number of officials on the crew. We're not so fortunate at the sub-varsity level, and even worse at the youth game. We're short officials, and the problem is getting worse. Please consider becoming an official to give back to the game. For more information, visit callthegame.com. That's callthegame.com, or speak with our athletic director. We'd like to thank our community partners, Allied Refreshment, Baker University, First National Bank, and the University of Kansas Health System for their contributions, which allowed the Shawnee Mission School District to purchase the new LED scoreboard for the south end of the stadium. We hope the board brings the best game experience to our students and our guests.
You got my microphone? He's gonna let that run. Right amount of blankets,
Do better this year.
Staff, Chris, they'll have Chris, I can't see any of these. Well, then I can't see this. Oh, there you go.
It's like right. It's like right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask all fans to stand as the American flag is being presented by NJROTC Color Guard members, Lieutenant Junior Grade Taylor Thurber, commanding Cadet Petty Officer 2nd Class Jordan Thurber, Cadet Petty Officer 1st Class Xavier Lager, Cadet Petty Officer Cody Markov, and Cadet Petty Officer 1st Class Tony Mays. We ask all spectators to show respect for our servicemen and servicewomen who stand in harm's way to protect our cherished way of life. Please honor their sacrifice and courage by removing your hats and standing throughout the playing of our national anthem, and presenting yourself in a manner honoring their service and our nation's pride and heritage. Ladies and gentlemen, the band would be honored if you would join them in singing the Star-Spangled Banner, followed by the West High School alma mater.
That's the West Pride Marching Band with the national anthem tonight. And so we welcome in DJ Turner and Chris Turner here as they go into the alma mater. Talk a little bit about the matchup tonight between West and Olathe East. And, as we look at, we talked about West coming in at 1-4, Olathe East coming in at 3-2 with some pretty good wins there too, and both of their losses being very close losses. But as you look at West for tonight, sort of look at the guys who hopefully make some of the impact on offense, and the number one guy in there, and this is what we think will happen. We think Wesley Clark is going to get this started at quarterback tonight, and but Weston Moore, who's nursing some injuries, probably is gonna get in there too, and it's going to be a big night for Wesley Clark. And what do you expect to see West do if Wesley Clark is that quarterback tonight?
I definitely see a lot of run plays. Definitely, I probably wouldn't expect him to throw the ball a lot down the field, just due to him not playing quarterback all season. He did, when he first got to West, that was his dominant position, and that's what he played. But since he's played receiver and safety for so long, I think they'll probably do a lot of run plays and get Kenny down in the box and get Trayvon down in the box as well, running the ball a lot more. Maybe get him on some like jet sweeps by himself or some quarterback option runs or anything like that.
And one guy who really stepped up last week, and they needed him last week desperately in the running game, was Andrew Kinney. And I think obviously if you're going to see West be more on the ground tonight, you're going to have to see a really good game out of Andrew too.
Yeah, definitely the big thing with Andrew is not trying to get so much of going side to side and trying to be better getting downhill. That's where he's been best. If we looked at the first couple games, he was better running straight downhill. He was getting yards, but when he runs side to side, he's not as fast and he's not as strong going side to side either.
One play that they had a lot of success with last week was that quick fullback hit to Luke Jones, and he's going to have to help out blocking, lead the way for Andrew, and also try to be successful on that quick hitter again.
Yeah, he's definitely done a great job being that guy. He's been an impact player on not only on defense but on offense, of coming up with big plays and big first downs, especially in the past couple of games. So that's another person to look for to come up as an impact player tonight.
And if Wesley Clark is going to play quarterback tonight, that takes him away. He's the number one receiver on the team right now, and they got a couple other guys with Mike Williamson and Andrew Morris. But Earl McDowell is probably going to be the one guy who's going to have to step up into that role tonight if Wesley's playing quarterback.
And if you look at him, doing kickoff returns and bringing the ball back, you can see he does a great job of using his feet. He's a long, lanky kind of guy. He's probably like 6'1". He's good using his feet. But the big thing is getting open to be able to catch the ball. He's just definitely going to have to step up big time.
And that front five, that line's really going to have to block, especially if you're going to be a little bit more run-oriented tonight.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And as we looked at on defense, it's sort of that it's going to be there on defense. One of the things that's really not on here is we're going to have as we talked about, who's going to be the receiver to replace Wesley if he plays quarterback, who's going to be the safety to replace Wesley if he is playing quarterback too, because he probably won't play both ways the whole game.
Yeah, definitely. You still have Anthony Morris, who's still a factor, who played started all last year, or pretty much most of the season last year, safety, with Wesley being a top safety. Now they kind of switched it up. They got some young players, more impact players, but I think they might throw him back there, get him a little time, or switch up Jalen Blewett back there, or maybe the young sophomore Lucas back there, and maybe get him out there and play safety.
And if you're looking right up the middle, the way Olathe East runs their offense, you're going to expect a lot of plays. You're going to have to stop up the middle.
Yeah, definitely linebackers are going to have to be a big factor, and definitely the defensive line. Hayden Burt down there, who's been a big factor in the past couple of weeks, and he's done a great job of doing his job, getting pressure. He's probably one of the only players that I think has done a great job of getting pressure on the quarterback a lot, and stopping the run and taking up gaps. So he's definitely going to have to be a big factor, and Luke Jones is definitely going to have to be a big factor there on the inside playing linebacker. One
thing that we just found out, I think, before the game, Trayvon Gilliard will be out tonight. He's away for a family issue tonight, so he will be out tonight. So we're going to have another guy step up there at the outside linebacker position also.
Yeah, on the other side, they still have Mikey Williamson out there, who also does a fantastic job of being a solid tackler and taking on blocks and making sure the ball stays inside and doesn't get outside. But I'm not really sure who they'd put out there on the outside, so that'll be definitely a little gap to fill out there, especially if Olathe East sees that and they want to run to that side and get acclimated on that side, and maybe run to that side a lot more if they feel that outside linebacker position is a little weak.
As we look at Olathe East on offense, it really all starts and runs through. They have a sophomore quarterback young guy, probably doesn't go down the field great. He's a big kid. He's got a big body. But he tends to manage the game pretty well right now.
Yeah, definitely. With a young quarterback like that, being a sophomore, it's kind of hard to get a feel for the complete game being so young, because his mind isn't fully developed on everything. So when he's looking down the field, he might be stuck on one receiver and won't have to look the other way. But they do run the ball a lot, which is good for him, and he'll be able to get the ball downhill to this impact running back. But at the same time, to open up the run game, you definitely have to pedal the ball a little bit.
And that guy who's going to be probably bear the brunt of the run game is going to be Morrell Fountain there too.
Oh yeah, he does a great job of getting downhill and running hard, and he always keeps his feet churning, definitely.
One of the guys who'll come from the edge and gets incorporated in the running game a little bit, and he'll get some receptions too, is Darius Bibbs.
They definitely need to get him the ball. He's definitely an impact player. Definitely need to get them the ball a little bit more. Since young sophomore quarterback doesn't really throw the ball downhill, they'll probably look maybe a little bit of short routes for him. Definitely try to get him open and see if they get him out in space, make sure that he can make plays.
And that young quarterback's got a pretty big target at tight end also.
Oh yeah, with him being a 6'5" guy, he might be hard to miss. I haven't seen him throw the ball, make any completions to that tight end out there, but he's definitely a big friend to look for, especially with maybe having a weak safety spot for West defense. That's definitely a spot that you could look for, having your tight end running straight down the field, which they do a lot, have him running straight down the field by himself, see if they can get him out in space. So that's definitely a target that young quarterback could look for.
And as we look at the Olathe East defense, a lot of it starts in. It's going to be centered around the linebackers there, and especially a really big one in the middle.
Oh yeah, that's a big 6'4" frame right there. He played a little bit of defensive end last year, definitely. So when they put him out, I think since with a smaller nose guard they have there at was he about 5'10", 170 pounds, which is that's not really a big guy to have there down in the middle. So with him moving him back to the Mike linebacker, he's out there in space by himself. He can come down, make plays, and actually you wouldn't be able to really throw across his face at all because he's so big and he's able to get out there and get in the zone.
And as we look at what West really probably needs to do to win this game, I think it probably starts on really just trying to. One is they're just going to have to be very effective running the ball tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's definitely have to be one of their big hitters right there. Is getting downhill and make sure they're doing a good job of running hard, keeping their feet turning, and get those extra yards. Maybe not so much of trying to work as hard for the extra yards, just make sure they don't fumble, but definitely to get the extra yards so they can keep moving the ball and make sure they get first downs.
And one of those things, if you're going to run all night, and if East knows that, that's one of the things you might see is that East may just try to load the box on you, and you're going to have to spread them out so they just don't do that to you.
Yeah, even with Wesley Clark being out, we still have big hitters or not being out, but being the quarterback, we still have some decent receivers out there that can definitely make plays and come up big. Earl, we were talking about Earl being a big factor maybe for this year, but definitely there's still other players as Anthony Morris and the Moore kid doing a good job out there, and make sure they can get them out there and make plays and come up big this time and spread that D out.
And as we look at one of the things that really hurt West last week was Olathe West's field position. Olathe West had 5 scoring drives, all of them roughly about 55 yards. They had great field position all night long. That's one thing that I think we're going to have to see if Shawnee Mission West can flip that script tonight and do that.
Yeah, I definitely think that's been one of the biggest factors for West defense over the past couple weeks is them being in bad spots on with the offense, other offenses being in such a good field position. So when they get the ball down at their 45-yard line, their 35-yard line, it's easier for them to get down there and score and have less field to cover.
And as we look at what Olathe East needs to do to come out with this victory, and one of the things I think they're just going to have to play a solid game. Try not to make any mistakes.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to do a good job on defense. With Wesley Clark throwing the ball, if we see him out there tonight, with Wesley Clark being the quarterback, you definitely have to get pressure on the quarterback there and making sure he not so much that you could try to contain him, but so much of him just putting pressure on him and make sure that he doesn't get outside because he is really good on his feet, but also make sure he doesn't throw the football. Maybe he's not as much ready to throw the football as a regular quarterback would be that's played all year, but that's one thing that Olathe East will have to do this game is make sure they get pressure on him and make sure they do a good job of that.
One of the things we're going to have to look at too is this may be a key to victory for both teams is Olathe East scores three times. That may be. We'll see if that's enough. The Vikings will be able to put up more than 3 scores tonight.
Yeah, another big thing that I think West will have to accomplish this week is definitely capitalizing on big plays and turnovers. Turnovers and big plays have been a big factor for them, and they haven't done as well of a job as I expected them to this year to capitalize on turnovers. But that's definitely going to have to be a big thing for them this week is capitalize on turnovers and come up with big plays and make sure that they're moving the ball, continue to move the ball, get first downs.
And as we have, we're approaching the kickoff here. We have the coin toss, and Olathe East has won the coin toss, and they have elected to defer. So the Vikings will receive. They will receive in the south end, defend the south end end zone for the first quarter. Olathe East will be kicking off from the north side, so Olathe East will be moving left to right, as they say on your radio dial, and we'll see how we get started here. So it's homecoming here tonight at Shawnee Mission West, and we got a full booth of ex-Vikings here, so nice homecoming. But we'll get started here.
Ex-baseball players.
We got some football players.
Well, I guess Josh did play football.
We got 2 football players.
Barely.
Well, DJ kind of play.
So, as we get started here, and Zayden Marquin is teeing it up, and he's ready to go. And there's the kick. And it's taken short at the 15-yard line by Earl McDowell, and he's going to go straight up the middle.
Oh,
he's
there
got
it
a
is.
great hole, and he sidesteps one man and takes it up to the 41-yard line.
And that's
So a
just-
really good start for West there to get. We talked about field position being critical, and he set him up with good field position.
Exactly. Earl has done a good job being the kick return guy there the past couple of weeks, and he did a good job there and getting good field position, and we'll see what he can do here on offense.
And as we get started here, Wesley Clark is in there at quarterback for the night. He's going to pitch that to Andrew Kinney. He's going to take it up. He's got a nice gain of almost 4 to 5 to the 46-yard line. And as we look at the starters for tonight, we do expect Wesley Clark to be the starter at quarterback as he was. Trayvon Gilliard, as we said, is out. Andrew Kinney will start at tailback, and Luke Jones as the fullback right now. And on 2nd and 6, there's the give straight up the middle. It's taken up to about the 48-yard line for about a gain of 2 by Andrew Kinney. And as we look at the starting line for this evening, Carson Lilla at left tackle, left guard, Jacob Porritt, Carter Johnson at center, Adam Hawkins at right guard, Brady Huff as the right tackle. And here's a 3rd and 4. And the give to Kinney, and he's going to be met in the backfield and have no gain there.
Yeah, they're just stacking the box.
And that's one of the things we thought they probably would do, and they're going to have to deal with that. Receivers: Earl McDowell, Mike Williamson, Anthony Morris, Gage Jones, and Caden Richardson at tight end. And that'll bring up a punt on a 3-and-out for West, and not really the way you wanted to get this one started.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely wanted to move the ball. Maybe throw the ball a little bit. I get he's this is the first time starting as quarterback, but definitely try to throw a little short route. Is definitely one of the things you want to do.
There is a good punt by Ruben Anderson. It's going to be taken at the 20-yard line. So a 34-yard punt by Ruben Anderson. And Olathe East will take over at their own 20-yard line. And as we set the defensive starters for West,
Well, compared to last week, what was the starting field position for Olathe West was like the 46?
about yeah.
Yeah.
Olathe West had great field position on all their scoring drives. So
It looks like
We'll
they
see
do
how that
got
goes.
Wesley Clark out there at safety.
Austin Bergeron is at quarterback. They give up the middle off tackle for about 2 to the 23-yard line.
Number 20.
That's number 20,
Fountain.
Merrill Fountain.
Tackled
And
by
as we
number
look at the
5,
defensive starters for the Vikings, Hayden Burnt at left end, Christian Coggs at nose guard, Adam Hawkins, and Carson Lilly, you'll see both at right end. And if he got right back into it, Olathe East gets up to the line quickly. Bergeron in the shotgun, and there's that jet action. And we talked about Darius Bibbs getting involved in the offense from that slot position, and he did right there.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to get some, but maybe outside contain there. Looks like he's a pretty fast guy. That receiver is out there. It looks like he's doing a pretty good job of getting outside and getting up the hill. So West is gonna have to do a good job of making sure they keep that inside contain, make sure he doesn't get outside and coming up and fill those gaps.
So we look at the linebackers. We'll have to check on who's playing for Trayvon, but Luke Jones, Jacob Porra, Gage Jones, and Mike Williams.
Kinney's out
looks
there.
Like, yeah,
there.
looks like Andrew Kinney's out
Andrew
there.
Kinney's at number 26 is taking Trayvon's spot there. There's the direct snap to number 20.
Oh, they got him.
And he
Oh, they
gonna
gave it
be-
to him.
No, he's going to be about a foot short.
Oh, they gave it to him.
He had to get to the almost the 31-yard line, and he's going to be about a football short. So
They gave it to
Looks
him.
like they gave it to him right there. How do you? I don't understand how you spot him there and then give him the first down.
yeah. So a gain of 1 by Fountain gets them the first down. As we look at again the defensive backs: Jalen Blewett, Lewis Bullock, Wesley Clark, Anthony Morris. And there's the first down give. Fountain's going to take it up to about the 39-yard line. So a gain of 3 on first down will bring up a 2nd and 7. Scoreboard has 2nd and 6, but it's about a 3-yard gain instead of a 4-yard gain there. Berggren looking over to the sideline for the signal. 7.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. There's the give to Flowers, and he's going to take it up to the 35 and be stopped there by a wall of Viking defenders and bring up a big 3rd and 6 play.
To me, there it looked like they had too many guys on the line of scrimmage there, but I guess the refs saw differently. And they got a 3rd down stop there, and West is having to do a good job capitalizing here. Here's where they have to get off the field, and this is where the field switches. They get just a decent punt. And West still have good field position to get the ball and make sure they go down and score.
So a big 3rd and 6 play. They have to get to about the 41-yard line, and they're going to run the option. There's the pitch to Flowers.
Mike's got him.
Nice job. Mike Williamson with great job of tackling right there.
Oh, yeah, that was a good tackle. That was a good job of trying to keep him inside, but as he didn't because he was getting off a block. He did a good job of getting off that block and coming out there and making that tackle.
So Mike Williamson with a really nice tackle right there, and that'll bring up a 4th down and force a punting situation here for the Olathe East Hawks. Wesley Clark back to receive this punt. It's the punt, a wobbly punt off the side of the foot. It's going to take a little bit of a Hawk bounce, but not too much, down to the 29-yard line. So Berggren with the punt there, and
First National Bank is proud to partner with Shawnee Mission School District.
about a 35-yard punt there.
And I definitely say this here's still pretty good field position. You're at the 29 on the opposite 29-yard line. Normally you're getting it into the 20s, the 15-yard line, and this is just good field position for West just to make sure they move the ball and open up the field a little bit, maybe throw the ball here a little bit.
6.5 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. West with their 2nd possession of the evening. Wesley Clark's going to give to Luke Jones straight up the middle, and he's got 3 up to the 32-yard line.
And it looked like West has a H-back, Ben Moore, who's a junior here out there, H-back coming down.
Handoff to number 45, Luke Jones.
Yeah, he's pressed into some work here with he's got to step up with some of the injuries that West has had. Clark under center. There's the give to Kenny, and he's going to be met in the backfield, but he's going to get up just back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain. One of the things that's interesting here, we talked about Wesley has a really good ability to run the ball, but this has been a pretty conventional I formation, under center, give to the tailback, give to the fullback offense so far.
Yeah, I definitely think maybe the offensive coordinator is a little nervous here to start, make sure he doesn't have any turnovers, start the game in the first quarter, maybe to throw the football a little bit. But I think you still have to open it up, maybe get Wesley out moving his feet, also running the football, but also throwing the football as well.
And you see Jalen Blewett in for the first time, and on offense as the receiver split out to the left. Clark's going to boot to the right. We got a flag. We do have a first down pending the penalty, but I'm guessing we're going to have a illegal crack. So it's a hold. That was a quick hold call. So we have a hold that's going to wipe out that. It's going to wipe out that first down play. A nice little boot action there. Safe pass for his first pass.
Definitely a smart play because Olathe East is looking for the downhill run. You get a little play action and boot them out to the opposite side. Olathe East has already crashed to the right side where the ball was originally going. So you get them rolled out to the opposite side and throw it out there. Luke Jones is open for first down there, but since there's a holding call, we're just going to have to knock that back and move him back a couple yards.
So that negates a nice gain there for Luke Jones. And there's the give up the middle of Kenny. He's going to sidestep a couple of guys. Nice run up to the 26-yard line. So he gets a good deal of that penalty back, but that'll bring up a fourth down. So on 3rd and 21, they get 7 back, and it'll be or 8 back, and it'll be a 4th and 13 and another punting situation for Ruben Anderson. Clock's running, 4:20 left to go here in the first quarter. Anderson back to punt from his own 26-yard line.
Definitely a good punt there. Our Ruben Anderson.
It's taken by Bibbs at the 41-yard line. He gets knocked back. Well, he'll take it up to the 42. So about a 34-yard punt and a 2-yard return.
He was definitely originally tackled by the Dakota Cotere there, the sophomore.
So Ruben Anderson with that punt, and that'll now bring up Olathe East with their second possession of the night. Their first possession ended up in a punt after a first down. After one first down, West is yet to get a first down tonight. They had one wiped out by a holding penalty. 4:01 left to go here in the first quarter. Berggren back in the shotgun, and he's going to throw, and he's got Bibbs, who's got wide open there on the flat. He takes it forward for 12 yards. Bibbs with the 12-yard reception up to the 46-yard line, and they're Olathe East inside West territory.
And that's definitely the one thing that Bergen does good is throwing the ball to the short routes. He may not be a big hitter down the field, but short routes is definitely where he knows that his strengths are, and it's a good thing for that he got that out there. And he got a first down there, and they just have to keep moving the football, and West just has to step up and cover those short routes.
And there's going to be a penalty. Number 12 was not on the line of scrimmage. There's going to be an illegal formation. Cameron Byers came up and should have been on the end of the line of scrimmage here. So it's going to wipe out a 5-yard carry here. It's going to be illegal formation.
Ineligible man downfield.
Okay.
Well, it looks like they need to start playing some press coverage. I mean, get up on these receivers.
Yeah, zone is a hard thing to play, especially when you have short routes. Because as an offense, you see a zone, you can definitely fit a lot of your receivers into the open window. So West is going to have to do a better job of coming up and make sure they're making those tackles, and definitely maybe not pressing as much, but definitely coming up and filling on those holes and filling those gaps.
They only gave a 4-yard penalty. That should be a 5-yard penalty. They need to move it back. There they go. Okay. So bring up a 1st and 15. Ball back inside Olathe East territory at the 49-yard line. And there's the give to Fountain. He's going to bowl his way ahead for about 4 yards. He gets 4 of the 5 yards back, and it'll be 2nd down and 11.
I think that was a pretty good job there by the West offensive line or the West defensive line rather to create some pile up. But West linebackers are definitely gonna have to do a better job of coming downhill and filling those gaps that are open as well. And that's where he fit in there to get those 4 yards.
So far, the 3 guys we talked about is between Berggren and Flowers, and or Berggren and Fountain, and Berggren wasn't ready for that. Nice job by Bibbs
Yeah.
to sidestep a guy, and
Bad copy, number 81.
he takes it forward to the 44-yard line for a gain of 3.
Yeah,
That
I
might be
think-
a personal foul.
I think they'll give him a taunt.
Yeah.
Kind of
Targeting.
tart.
No. It's on them. What is he? How?
Okay,
I don't understand what he just called. He drilled our
they
guy. Though.
they
32
called
did.
targeting on us, although we're the one that got hit, knocked down.
32 drilled our cornerback.
Yeah, I just watched the replay in here, and he's the one that got knocked down. So it'll be a gain of 3 for Bibbs, and then
I
a
don't-
15-yard penalty on West.
What?
It'll
Like,
give-
first off, I didn't think it was a penalty. I thought it was a decent block.
So it'll give West, the Hawks, Olathe East Hawks, a first down at the 29-yard line of Shawnee Mission West.
This guy must be from Olathe.
And there's the Bergeron's back to pass, and he's got a man downfield and wide open. Bibbs, a 29-yard touchdown pass from Bergeron to Bibbs. And right before that last play, DJ, one of the things I was going to say is the 3 guys we talked about, it really haven't come out of their hands. Bergeron, Bibbs, and Fountain are the only 3 guys who really touched this ball.
Yeah, but I think the big thing there is West. Right before that play, West didn't really have their defense set up. They were still scrambling around, trying to figure out where to go and where to be. And once the ball snapped, they were still moving around. And the person that was supposed to be on Bibbs there wasn't even nowhere to be found, and he was wide open down the
Well,
side.
Wesley had 2 guys to cover. Can't cover both of them.
Yeah, that must have been a linebacker problem or defensive problem there.
So Zayden Marquin gets the extra point and makes it 7-0. And with 2:41 left to go here in the first quarter, the score is Olathe East 7, Shawnee Mission West 0. And we'll be right back after this timeout. And we're back for the kickoff after the Olathe East touchdown. Marquin, there's the boot. It's going to be taken by McDowell at the 11-yard line. Coming up the middle and then cutting out to the left, and he'll be taken down at the
He fumbled there, I think.
21-yard
He
line.
still held on to it.
Now they'll mark him at the 20, so that'll put him down at the a 9-yard return to the 20-yard line, and West will start there for their third possession of the evening. Clark in at quarterback again. Clark in the I formation. He's going to run the little bit of speed option to the left, and he's got about 3 yards up to the 23.
And I like that there. Maybe I like that on first down, definitely. But just because Wesley Clark's feet, I think I like the way
He was just one guy away from getting a big gain.
definitely. If he would have got there, maybe got an extra block or maybe broke off or fake pitched out there to the running back, I think that linebacker maybe would have jumped that and he would have had a lot more yards than he did. But I do like that play on first down.
So a 3-yard gain on first down will bring up 2nd and 7. Clark again in the I formation. There's the pitch to Kinney. He's going to try to get out to the right. Matlack tackles him for a 1-yard loss. We were talking about Nate Matlack, that big 6'4", 220 middle linebacker who played defensive end last year and made a nice play there.
Definitely what he does is he comes up, jams your offensive lineman, and once he jams your offensive lineman with that long frame, it's really hard to be able to make contact with him and get your hands on him. So he got outside there pretty well and came up and filled that and made a tackle.
So they actually mark him for no gain, still at the 23-yard line, 3rd and 7. Clark back to pass. He's going to look deep for Mike Williamson, who's there,
That's
and that
pass-
should be
no
pass
flag.
interference.
Definitely pass interference. Yep, that's a good play
So-
call right there. Penalty call there.
Cameron Byers with pass interference call, and that should be a first down for West. So it'll give him a 15 yards there and a first down. And
As-
If he'd have threw that a little bit farther, that was probably a touchdown, really.
As a defender, it is really hard as a defender when the ball's in the air, you see your receiver running, and you're just supposed to be able to stop your feet and turn around just because the receiver stops his feet. It's kind of hard when you run at full speed and he's turned around already. You know, he already has you beat, and you're running trying to play catch up.
Yeah.
At that point, it's just pretty hard when you're playing catch up to stop and turn and look. But as a defender, you just have to be better and turn around and get your head around or something, or stop, or not a lot you can do, really.
Yeah, because Mike did have a beat. He was just trying to play catch up, and with an underthrown ball, it ended up running right back into Williamson. So a 15-yard penalty. It'll give West a first down at the 38. There's the give straight ahead to Luke Jones. He's going to take it ahead for 4 to the 42-yard line. So Luke Jones with a nice run of 4 on first down. The one thing that's been nice here on the last 2 plays is good positive yards on first down to set up a manageable second down.
Yeah, most definitely.
And there's a second down to Kenny. He's going to take it forward all the way into East Territory. He's up all the way to the 46-yard line.
I think also the big thing there, David, is with that 5'10", 170-pound nose guard there for Olathe East, those quick hitters there are pretty good for West, because you run straight downhill, you get your center moving downhill. It's hard for him to get off a block being as small as he is, and also trying to cover up the gaps of the fullback coming down as well.
Absolutely, and that'll be they ran that play well last week, and we'll see if that becomes a bread and butter play this week too. That one's a quick hitter again.
And if he would have kept his feet there, I think he definitely would have had a lot more yards than he did for sure.
It's interesting to watch. The ends are starting to crash really hard to try to help support that play on that.
And that's one of the things that were in the notes for this week with the Olathe East. If they see a lot of run, and they definitely like to come down and make sure that they limit everything that comes inside, because they see what West does well, which is crash down and fill those quick hitters and fill those gaps.
And that'll be the end of the first quarter. We're here with West driving inside Olathe East territory at the end of the first quarter. But right now, Olathe East with a 7-0 lead. We'll be right back after these timeouts.
Whoa.
We're ready here for the beginning of the second quarter. 2nd and 7 for West. There's the give to Kenny. He's trying to break it outside, and he's up to the 39-yard line. He'll be about 3 yards shy of that first down, but a nice run by Andrew Kenny there.
Hezekiah Newman, number 41 for Olathe East, definitely did a good job coming up and filling on.
I'm pretty sure he felt that
one. Yeah, it's a pretty good tackle.
So big 3rd and 7 play here. Here's one of the ones I want to see if we can get Wesley out in space too. either that speed option. He's playing under center, so it'll be interesting. But see if you can get him and see if he can make a play out here.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's the give straight ahead to Luke Jones, who's going to be short. He's got about a yard, and he's going to be about a yard and a half short.
I think that there is, if you're Wesley Clark there, I think that's the one that you pull. I'm not sure if it was a direct snap or direct to the fullback as the play was, but if it was definitely option, that's one you should pull and try to get outside, because that defensive end there, number 42, he crashed extremely hard when he saw that downhill fullback. So with that getting outside, he definitely has a lot more space to get outside here.
And that's one of the things you just mentioned too. We talked about is those ends are really starting to crash hard, and see if he can keep that. Get outside here. So we'll bring up a big 4th and 1 from the 42-yard line, and it's going to be straight ahead. And Wesley Clark,
Man, he got about 4 yards, didn't he?
he was going to get it anyway, but his fullback made sure he did with a big push in the back. So he takes it over to the takes it up to the 34-yard line. So gain of 3 will give him West a first down.
So Lucas Bullock is in there on offense. Does he come in on offense a little bit?
He has been a receiver at times this year, but he hasn't ran all this there. So Wesley Clark holds on. DJ, there's that one. He kept it there, and he got a nice gain on first down.
And I think that right there is something you definitely should go back to the, a lot more than they're doing right now. But, make sure to try to switch it up a little bit. But with this, with the way this defensive end on this side is crashing down as hard as he is, I think that is going to be open a lot more than they expected to there in the second half. But they don't adjust.
Yeah, because that's the second time he's done that. And the first time he was close to breaking it looked like. And
right.
in that one he got pretty good yardage.
So a 2nd and 4 at the 28-yard line. There's the pitch to Kenny, who has to gather it. He'll lose about a yard back to the 29-yard line. So a loss of 1 by Andrew Kinney. And Olathe East had that one played pretty well from the beginning.
Yeah, but they've seen it a lot. They know once they run down in the box, they know West once they go down in the box, and then they run a little outside speed option. I definitely know that one was coming. That's kind of what they've run this whole possession is maybe those 2 or 3 plays, really the whole game, honestly. And once you get a hold of that and see what they're doing, and you see that H-back is crashing outside, and you see that your tackle is crashing outside, then it's just easier for you to come up and make a tackle there.
So Clark's looking to throw, and he's got the slant to McDowell. Nice job. A completed pass down to the 18-yard line to McDowell, so an 11-yard gain. One of the things we talked about was McDowell needing to step up.
Oh, yeah.
Big, long body, runs well in space, but he's sort of been a little nonchalant with his hands so far this year. That was a really nice, strong catch there.
Yeah, that's definitely what Wes needs to do. Wesley played quarterback for most of his life in Pee Wee football in freshman year, so I think he still has a little skill there throwing the football, and Earl did definitely a good job of catching the ball and bringing it in and make sure that he holds on to it all the way to the ground.
So nice catch by Earl McDowell, and bring another first down for West, and West gets about 9 on first or 3, excuse me, on first down, and they'll take it down to 16. Yeah, I would have taken 9 instead of that. So about a gain of 2 or 3 there on first down. Eight minutes left to go here in the first half. Clark under center in the I formation. The give, no, he's going to keep it. He's got a nice job. Nice run all the way down inside the 10-yard line to the 9-yard line. He'll be just at the line of scrimmage, or just at the yard to make. Probably about a half yard or so short.
And that's one thing that we talked about before the game started, is how good Clark is on his feet. He's a good runner. He may not be the fastest guy on the field, but he's definitely very good on his feet, definitely good with yards, getting his yards and being shifty and quick.
What do you think here, quarterback sneak?
We'll see if that is, and if Luke Jones pushes him.
Nobody's lined up in
3 yards
front
again.
of him. You know what I mean?
So yeah, he can go off there, and Luke Jones does push him ahead, make sure he gets that first down. So do we give like half of his yards to Luke?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You gotta give him a little assist, like you do tackles when you have assisted tackle.
So 1 yard to Wesley Clark and 1 yard to Luke Jones there on the quarterback sneak, and it's a first down. It's first and goal at the 7-yard line for the Vikings. This possession that started at the 20-yard line. West has driven
run
it
a
down
slant to
into
Mike.
first and goal at
Good.
the 7-yard line.
Yeah, I hear you on that one, Chris. Definitely throw the football there.
But there's the give to Luke Jones. He's going to take it forward to the 5, about a gain of 2.
And there's so much space out there on that with that outside receiver.
Safety's in the box. He's not going to.
Right, they're more looking for the run as a defense than they are a pass. And if I'm West and I'm the offensive coordinator, I see that out there, I'm either putting my big frame Earl McDowell out there or whoever's out there playing receiver. Definitely run a slant there and get him in the end zone.
Yeah, and I think they hit him quick. You got to watch. They will drop their ends into and their outside linebackers into coverage. So you gotta be aware of where they are, but you can't hit it quick. And Wesley's going to boot to the right. He's got it. He goes in and he gets the corner. Touchdown!
Yeah.
Touchdown, Wesley Clark on a 5-yard run.
That's definitely a good play there. They ran it. They ran it again, which they faked it, but they play action to the right side, rolled them out rolled play action to the left side, rolled them back out to the right, got him into the end zone. He might have been looking for a pass there. I'm not 100% sure how deep he was, but they definitely got an end zone. That was just a smart play, smart call by the offense right there, and a good job by Wesley Clark using his feet and make sure he gets to that pylon and getting over the pylon and scoring that touchdown.
And the extra point is no good. So must have just pulled it just a little bit to the left, and that'll keep this game at 7-6 Olathe East. The scoreboard already gave us that point, but they said it was no good. It'll be 7-6 Olathe East. But guys, a really, really nice drive by the Vikings there. 80 yards for a touchdown.
Oh yeah, it's definitely something you love to see with West moving the ball, make sure they're getting down on the first down.
And they used a lot of clock there.
8.5 minutes.
Yeah, they definitely did a good job on the possession, which Westland hasn't really done very well on this season. Is possession. They kind of get rid of the ball fast and punt the ball, but they definitely done a good job of making sure they got the first down and continue to move the ball and they got the end zone and got 6 points up on the board.
17 play, 80-yard, 8.5 minute drive, and if you're Shawnee Mission West, you couldn't ask for anything better than that right there.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was definitely a good drive to watch.
You know, one of the other things that was really nice to see too, they're having to honor their ends just can't start crashing down and trying to get everything in the box. Wesley's starting to stretch them a little bit on the outside.
Yeah, and you mix in a couple throws, it keeps them a little honest, and they can't stack the box totally against the run. I'd like to see Kenny, break a couple big ones tonight. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I'd also love to see them run him downhill more instead of trying to get him outside. He's definitely a north to south kind of running back and maybe not an east to west guy.
So here's the kick from Michael Cooper. And it's a short kick taken at the 23-yard line.
And that's the big thing there with Michael Cooper. He doesn't have the strongest leg, and so if your kickoff team doesn't go down there and do their job and make tackles and fill their line and fill their seams, you kind of get decent field position if you're the return team.
So Joey Grooms returns that ball to the 34-yard line for the. Well, we have a sideline warning. It looks like the interesting thing. It looks like they're giving a sideline warning to West, but they pointed towards Olathe East. I really do think it was a sideline warning on West.
Well, they messed up that penalty earlier, pointed the wrong way, too.
Yeah. So Olathe East will take over after the West score. 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line.
And it looks like Luke Jones isn't in there at linebacker position right now. It looks like they have Carter.
There's Flowers. He'll take it forward for about 3. He gets up to the 37-yard line. Or, excuse me, Fountain.
Actually, excuse
Keep
me.
on wanting to say Flowers. I'm not sure why, but
Excuse me, that isn't Carter out there. That's Dakota Couture.
Dakota Couture.
so mixing some guys in there at linebacker, and they're going to have to if Kenny's playing both ways a little bit and Trayvon Gilliard's gone. They're going to have to mix up some new faces in there in the linebacking core.
Oh, yeah, for sure, most definitely.
So Bergeron's rolling out to his right. He's looking to throw, and he doesn't
There
have
you
any
go.
place to go, and that's going to be a loss of 3. A loss of 3 on the play. That'll take it back to the 39 or 34-yard line. It'll bring up a big 3rd and 10 play for the Olathe East.
There on that play, it really didn't look like he had it didn't look like he had much out there.
So 3rd and 10, 4:50 left to go here in the first half.
This is where we need Mr. Burnt to get in there.
And they will run a little bubble screen out of this formation. They're
Oh,
looking to go
keep it
deep,
up.
He's open,
and
too.
he's wide open.
And I missed
I
it.
tell you what, Bibbs
Fast.
has made some plays tonight.
I'll tell you what, he was covered for about 20 yards there. And
Yeah.
maybe at the last 2 yards there of that route, he was open because of
Yeah,
his
they
speed.
went for the old pump fake there.
So about a 40-yard gain there on 3rd and 10, and that sets Olathe East up at 1st and 10 at the west 26-yard line. They'll have trips to the right, little pistol formation. There's the keeper, and Bergeron's got a good gain. There's
Hold.
going to be a hold it's either going to be a hold or a crack. Oh, they're calling that on West. They're going to call that on West. Yeah. Because they were talking to the Olathe East sideline. Oh. Shot to the head on Olathe East. It's interesting. It's a 15-yard penalty. So the interesting thing about that is they immediately started talking to the Olathe East sideline, and maybe they were just explaining the call. It looked like they were seeing what they wanted to do with it, but it will be a shot to the head, and Olathe East
And we have Josh Compton here on the video camera now.
and his mic's live, so he might hear him talk here too. So 4 minutes left to go, and that's a big penalty. Big penalty. 1st and 23 wipes out a nice gain there for Olathe East. Bergeron looking to throw, and
Wesley Clark went for a
unfortunately,
kill there.
he was trying to find Bibbs again and overthrew him, and if Wesley would have looked or went for the ball instead of the tackle, he may have had something.
For
yeah.
sure, if he would have caught that and went downfield, I think he probably could have went for 6 there. He was definitely had a lot of field up there. And now's that right there for Olathe East is the first incomplete pass they've thrown out of.
So he's 4 out of 5 so far.
And all 5 passes have gone to Bibbs.
4 out of 5 for 84 yards, all to Bibbs so far. And Bergeron's going to run. He's sneaking himself up into there, and he doesn't get a lot. He gets maybe 3, and that'll set up a 3rd and long at the 36-yard line. Guys, here's what I'm going to say. Find Bibbs and cover him. Even if you got to cover him with 3 guys.
Yeah,
find him.
That's been their main receiver there, and he's come up big on a lot of big plays this drive and plenty of other drives. So it's definitely the number 1 player that you probably look for if they're throwing the football through here, which I expect they would since it's a 3rd and a lot.
Yeah, I'd look to shadow over him with the safety and then maybe go one-on-one with a corner on him.
So 3rd and 20, and Bergeron, Hayden Burnt's getting up. Oh no. Hayden Burnt almost had the sack, and Fountain just leaked out of the backfield, and it's a 36-yard touchdown pass from Berger into Fountain. And I'll give you one thing. That was a pretty good pass by Berger.
Oh yeah, even with that defensive lineman in his face, Hayden Bird sitting there on his back, he threw definitely a dart to Fountain there, and it was a right on target, really.
I think DJ's about to start eating crow about saying he can't throw downfield.
He's made a couple good throws downfield. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's playing well today.
And
The extra point by number 4, Dayton Merriquin, is good. The score, the Vikings 6, the Hawks.
so a 36-yard touchdown pass from Berger into Fountain on third and long, and guys, that's 2 really big third and longs. At 3rd and 10 with about a 40-yard pass to Bibbs, and then a third and 36, or excuse me, a 3rd and 20 from the 36, and get the long touchdown pass to Fountain.
And as we were sitting here talking about we should cover Bibbs here, we let Fountain open is what we did.
Maybe they took my advice and put 3 guys on Fountain and on Bibbs, and they lost Fountain. So Bergeron's 5 for 6 for 120 yards so far in the first half, and DJ, one of the things we did talk about in the beginning, and we saw this on film, he goes downfield, but he hadn't been very successful going downfield so far. He's had about 3 nice balls downfield so far tonight.
I was doing a little knocking on him in the beginning when we started, but he has done a good job of getting the ball downfield. He really hasn't looked towards the receiver that we'd expect him to look for, but outside of Bibbs. But he's definitely done a good job of getting Bibbs the football and definitely throwing the ball downfield. And he's still sticking to his strengths also and throwing the ball short.
So McDowell and Jalen Rucker are awaiting this kick, but it's not. Oh, you guys, you got to get it. McDowell's going to pick it up, and he's going to get about 3 yards return up to the 28-yard line. And, well, we'll give them 4 up to the 29-yard line. So West will start 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line, down 14-6. 2:50 left to go. So be nice to get a score here. Obviously, you don't have the time to play with as last time.
You know, it'll be interesting. West, I'm not sure how much West has a 2-minute drill here. They may have to strike a big play to score before half.
And I feel like if you're West here, they'll stick to their strengths.
They are looking downfield. They try to get McDowell on the post. Clark's going to come out to the 31-yard line. He's got a gain of 2 out to the 31.
And I think that right there is one thing that I think Wesley is going to have to get away from this game is trying to do too much on his feet. He's the starting quarterback this week, and if he goes out, I think that's a big gap to fill, especially with I'm not really sure who the backup will be since he's really the 3rd string.
Yeah, Marcos Flores was almost took his head off on that one too. He ducked under that hit, and it was that would have been a pretty big hit there. But it'll bring up a 2nd and 8 from the 31-yard line. There's the give to Kenny, and he's going to lose about a yard. They'll give him right back to the line of scrimmage at 31-yard line. So no gain on the play. 2 minutes left, and I believe Olathe East must have called their timeout. They did. They called their first timeout of the game. The half, so they'll have 2 timeouts remaining.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and
an iPhone was found in the ladies' restroom.
That'll bring up a big play, a 3rd and 8 at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, West really hasn't had much of a passing game, so they're going to need another big 3rd down conversion here. Maybe they'll look. Wesley will get out of the pocket, look to have a little run pass option, and they've had a little bit of success on the bootleg. Olathe East has overflown a little bit with the run action. Maybe they'll boot it out, have a little bit of room to go.
So we'll go tonight. The Viking Touchdown Club would like to thank tonight's program sponsor, Crowder Family Dentistry. Owned by a Viking family, Crowder Family Dentistry specializes in beautifying smiles, maintaining your dental health and helping you improve your appearance. Our experienced and friendly staff takes great pride in keeping your smile beautiful. For their next dental exam, visit Crowder Family Dentistry. Big 3rd and 8 play for the Vikings. Clark back to pass. He's going to roll out to his right. He's trying to keep it alive. We're going to have a flag. It's most likely going to be a hold and decline there. Couple of things right there. Wesley did a good job, I think, of trying to keep it alive so he could try to get downfield. Unfortunately, he went out of bounds, so and stopped the clock and let Olathe East keep one of their timeouts.
He really only had a true one man down the field there, and I don't know where the rest of their receivers were, if they're supposed to be any more receivers, but I'm not sure what else he was going to do with the ball there besides maybe try to run the football.
You know, in most of the sets we've seen tonight, it has been a one receiver set, one person into the pattern.
Yeah, which I mean, it isn't the worst thing, but when you're trying to look downfield and throw the ball, especially with having this much less time on the clock, definitely you would probably have to get a little bit more receivers out there to go run a couple routes.
So Ruben Anderson will be standing around inside his 20-yard line. Line of scrimmage is the 32. There's the snap and the kick. And
go!
Ball. And that's a live ball taken by, well, it'll be a muff. It's a muff.
I thought if it touches any part of your body.
It's a muff though, so it can't be advanced. Should be the West ball. That should be West ball at the 36-yard line. It definitely hit his foot, and it's just so it can't be advanced.
Okay.
So
that's what we talked about before the game too, there as well, David, is turnovers is what they need to capitalize on. So here, getting a big turnover here with a minute 41 down by a touchdown and maybe a field goal or extra or 2-point conversion. You definitely have to get downfield and make sure they score here.
And you got to capitalize on that. You got a big gift with a minute 41 left to go in this half, and you really need to try to capitalize. There's the give to Kinney. He's going to try to get out to his left, and he's got a nice run on first down. He's got almost 6 yards. We'll give him 6 up to we'll give him 5. I was being more generous than the referees were. So we'll get 5 to the 31-yard line for Andrew Kinney on first down. Clock's running with 1:20 left to go here.
I think if Big Hayden Burnt, number 51, holds on to that block just a half second longer, that outside guy that he pushed outside has less of a chance of tackling, who made first contact with Kinney there.
And here's Wesley Clark under center. And he's rolling out. He's booting to his right. He's got it. He knocked out of the bounds. Quickly helped out of bounds by number 41 there at the 28-yard line. So a gain of about 3, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2.
I'll tell you what, big number 41, Hezekiah Newman, he not only crashes extremely hard on the outside, but he's pretty good on the feet. He really got from inside of all that commotion going on down there in the middle of that gap there and getting outside and stopping Wesley from coming up with a big play.
So a big 3rd and 2 play here from the 28-yard line. Clark, there's the give to Kinney, and he's not going to get there. He's actually going to lose about a yard. Mark him down to the back to the 20-yard line, and West will take their first time out of the half right here, and they'll obviously go for it here on 4th down. A 4th and 3 from the 29-yard line. One thing I'd like to see Wesley do a little bit when he's running that boot there, he's settling a little bit to see if he can go downfield, but if they run it and it's a design run play, he could beat that guy to the edge.
I think what he's trying to do is do a little bit more. I think he's trying to do a little bit more than what he should do, to come up with a big play, which is good for him being a quarterback. He's still looking downfield while also getting yards, make sure he's moving forward towards the line of scrimmage. But if he's looking over there and he doesn't have anybody coming across the field to help him go catch the ball, I think it's time for him to tuck that ball and get as many yards as possible. Absolutely.
And he needs at least 3 right here. West does at least 3 here on the 4th down play. So a 4th and 3 from the 29-yard line. 48 seconds left to go here in the first half. A 14-6 Olathe East lead over the Vikings.
This is where you thank Olathe East for taking a couple timeouts earlier. It gives them a chance here. Have 48 seconds on the clock instead of maybe 20.
Single receiver to the right. And he's
I think they're going to call him short there.
He got a sneak for 2, but he didn't get his third, and he's going to be short there. Knocked down at the 27-yard line and a yard short of the first down.
I think that's a smart play call, just because of how many yards they've been getting on the QB sneak. But at the same time, I just feel like there might have been a better play there to come up with on 4th and 3.
Yeah, three's in the in between where they've been getting about 3, but I don't know if you can trust that they're gonna get 3 no matter what. It also didn't seem like Luke Jones got the little bush push there
I was gonna say,
on the quarterback.
Needed a bigger push from Luke Jones to get that last yard.
Might have pushed him a little too hard.
Either way, it's a 1st and 10 for Olathe East. There's the throw, and that's a completed pass up to Cameron Byers. Short gain of maybe about 4 or 5. They'll give him 5. Clock's still running, 30 seconds left. And I think Olathe East they'll go into time, and unless they get a big play here, though, they're not going to probably use their timeouts here because they're going to get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, I think Jalen Blewett did a good job of keeping him in bounds, make sure he didn't get out of bounds, coming up and making that tackle to keep him so the clock keeps running.
Most likely, unless it's a incomplete pass, this will be the last play of the first half, and there's a hold. So Bibbs is going to get a big catch and up to the 49-yard line, but that'll all come back because there's going to be a holding call. So that'll negate that.
I think they'll just take it into the locker room after calling this, right?
Ineligible man downfield. You know, the interesting thing with ineligible, they call a hold. The ineligible man downfield, they're calling that quickly. So one of the outside receivers must be covering up a tight end and causing that issue.
That's what I saw here. I think they have a tight end on the outside, and what they do is they have with that 2 wide out set, they have both of their outside receivers down there on the line.
So that'll do it for the first half. A fairly solid game or half for the Vikings, but Olathe East is up 14-6, and we'll be right back after these timeouts for West homecoming festivities. And before we start halftime here for the homecoming show, we'll do a little bit of a drive summary of the first half. Again, a 14-6 Olathe East lead. Olathe East scored first with 2:41 left to go in the first quarter. A 29-yard pass from Berger into Bibbs. The extra point made it 7-0. It was a 5-play, 58-yard drive for Olathe East, which took about a minute and a half. West then scored with 6:05 left to go in the first half on a 17-play, 80-yard drive that encompassed 8.5 minutes. A 5-yard touchdown run by Wesley Clark. The extra point was no good, and it stayed 7-6, Olathe East. Olathe East then got a 36-yard touchdown pass from Berger into Fountain with 2:53 left to go in the first half. a 66-yard drive, 7 plays, 66-yard drive, a couple of big plays, a 40-yard pass to Bibbs on third and 10, and a big 3rd and 20 conversion for the touchdown at 36. So we'll go to halftime here with the homecoming festivities, and we'll be right back after homecoming.
For assisting with the ceremony this evening. And now it's time to introduce the 2019 Homecoming King and Queen candidates. Connor Ampleman, escorted by his parents, Kate and Jim Ampleman. Connor is nominated by orchestra. He is also involved in band and choir. Connor plans to attend college to study and major in double bass performance. Phoenix Bialik is escorted by her parents, Stacy and Brad Bialik. Phoenix is nominated by Spanish National Honor Society. She's also involved in Student Council and National Honor Society. Phoenix plans to study architectural engineering at a university. Ruben Anderson is escorted by his parents, John and Stan Anderson. Ruben is nominated by National Honor Society, and he is also involved in football and baseball. Ruben's plans after graduation are undecided. Jaden Butterfield is escorted by her parents, Tess Gadwood and Jim Butterfield, and her brother Jimmy Butterfield. Jaden is nominated by Yearbook. She is also involved in cheer and link crew. Jaden would like to attend the University of Arizona to pursue occupational therapy and dance. Robert Beeson is escorted by his parents, Jenna Cooper and Robert Beeson. Robert is nominated by DECA. He's also involved in SNHS and baseball. Robert plans to study finance. Julia Adele is escorted by her parents, Sarah and David Adele. Julia is nominated by theater. She is also involved in choir and Tri-M Honor Society. Julia plans to attend Wichita State University to major in music education. Emilio Elliott Jr. is escorted by his parents, Barbara Morton and Emilio Elliott Sr. Emilio is nominated by Epic. He is also involved with photojournalism and basketball. Emilio plans to play college basketball and get a degree in photography. Brenda Garcia is escorted by her parents, Maria Garcia and Efrain Garcia. Brenda is nominated by Student Council. She's also involved in the Biotechnology Signature Program and Environmental Club. Brenda plans to attend the University of Kansas for Biology and Environmental Studies. Will Frankel is escorted by his parents, Lisa and Peter Frankel. Will is nominated by Link Crew. He is also involved in swim and dive and advanced video production. Will plans to go to college to study film and media journalism. Holly Jackson, escorted by her parents, Derek and Anisha Jackson. Holly is nominated by Prep Club. She is also involved in advanced video production and Black Student Union. Holly plans to attend college and major in musical theater with a minor in cinematography. Carver Hartle is escorted by his parents, Shelly and Cameron Hartle. Carver is nominated by band. He's also involved in National Honor Society and DECA. Carver plans to attend Kansas State University to study finance. Haley Jones is escorted by her parents, Laura and Joshua Jones. Haley is nominated by Link Crew. She is also involved in National Honor Society and DECA. Haley's plans following graduation are undecided. We would also like to wish Haley a very happy 18th birthday. Carter Johnson is escorted by his parents, Tracy and Nathan Johnson. Carter is nominated by Pep Club. He's also involved in DECA and football. Carter plans to attend the University of Kansas. Sydney Leslie is escorted by her parents, Jessica and Jim Leslie. Sydney is nominated by German National Honor Society. She is also involved in student council and band. Sydney plans to attend the University of Central Missouri to major in chemistry, minor in German, and play soccer. Gage Jones is escorted by his mom, Lonnie Jones. Gage is nominated by volleyball. He's also involved in football. Gage plans to attend trade school after graduation. Hannah Silverstein is escorted by her parents, Jennifer and Matthew Silverstein. Hannah is nominated by band. She is also involved in Overland Park Express and National Honor Society. Hannah plans to attend a university to study psychology and neuroscience. Dee Glenn is escorted by his parents, Melissa Glenn and Philip Glenn. Dee is nominated by theater. He's also involved in National Honor Society. Dee plans to attend college to major in planetary geology and minor in theatrical lighting theater. Kim Trong, escorted by her parents, Quinn Dan and Song Chong. Kim is nominated by Epic. She's also involved in band and tennis. Kim plans to attend the University of Kansas to study art history. Ryan Orm is escorted by his parents, Christy Orm and Robert Orm. Ryan is nominated by choir. He's also involved in theater and Tri-M Honor Society. Ryan plans to go to college for music education to pursue a career in choral conducting. Ava Woldridge is escorted by her parents, Mia Woldridge and Tommy Woldridge. Ava is nominated by PTSA. She is involved in Out of Hand Literacy Magazine and as a cadet teacher. Ava plans to study nutrition and functional medicine. Eric Vargas is escorted by his parents, Griselda Ayala and Jorge Perez. Eric is nominated by Yearbook. He's also involved in soccer. After graduation, Eric plans to play college soccer. Taylor Zarda, escorted by her parents, Melody Zarda and Adam Zarda. Taylor is nominated by volleyball. She has served as captain for the volleyball team. Taylor plans to attend Johnson County Community College to continue her volleyball and academic career. Leo Villaseñor, escorted by his parents, Vianney Castañeda. Leo is nominated by Student Council. He is also involved in Link Crew and photojournalism. Leo plans to study architectural engineering at Kansas State University. And one day he plans to marry Marissa Hernandez. McKenna Blewett and Jalen Blewett are escorted by their mom, Michelle Laffrey, and Grandma Nana. McKenna is nominated by Cheer. She is also involved in leadership seminar and advanced video production. McKenna plans to attend the University of Kansas or Wichita State, and she plans to earn her master's in communication and health disorders. Jalen is also nominated by Cheer. He is involved in football and DECA. Jalen has enlisted in the United States Air Force and hopes to become a pilot. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our 2019 Homecoming King and Queen candidates. And now, please welcome back our 2018 Homecoming King and Queen Court. Second attendant, Gracie Sherrard, is escorted by Henry Hand. First attendant, Rachel Berkeley, is escorted by Charlie Martin. And last, but certainly not least, escorted by Principal Steve Lowe, 2018 Homecoming Queen Kamani Alexander and King Jacob Gallows. Assisting with crowns and flowers tonight are Shawnee Mission West Juniors, Olivia Neely and Olivia Tabanero. It's time to meet our 2019 homecoming court. Second attendant to the King is Phi Nguyen. We had a tie for first attendant to the Queen. First attendant to the Queen is Taylor Zarda. And our other first attendant to the Queen is Brenda Garcia. First attendant to the King is Will Frankel. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 homecoming king is Leo Villaseñor. And your 2019 homecoming queen is Hannah Silverstein. Thank you so much and congratulations to everyone.
And your West homecoming king and queen, Leo Villaseñor and Hannah Silverstein. And congratulations to them. There's 3 minutes left to go here there'll be about 3 minutes put on the clock for warm-ups as they finish up homecoming. We'll do some individual statistics for the first half. First for the West Vikings, Wesley Clark, 1 of 3 passing for 11 yards. And Earl McDowell with the 1 catch for 11 yards. On the ground, Andrew Kinney, 13 rushes for 32 yards. Luke Jones, 5 rushes for 13 yards. Wesley Clark, 9 rushes for 34 yards. West with 3 penalties for 25 yards and 3 kick returns for 38 yards. No punt returns for the evening in the first half. For Olathe East, first half, Austin Berggren was 6 of 7 for 125 yards passing. Bibbs, his main target there, had 4 catches for 84 yards. Fountain with 1 catch for 36 yards and the touchdown right before halftime. And then Cameron Myers, with 1 catch for 5 yards. 1 punt return for 2 yards, and then 1 fumble punt return for Olathe East. Rushing, Fountain with 7 carries for 15 yards. Bergeron 2 carries for 0 yards, and Bibbs 1 carry for 7 yards. They have 3 penalties for 35 yards and 1 kick return for 12 yards. And as we have about a minute and a half left before halftime, we have actually a one play or a score update. A pretty crazy shootout between Olathe North and Shawnee Mission East, 42-42 at halftime. So a pretty crazy game there. As we bring back in DJ Turner and Chris Turner to talk about the first half there a little bit. One thing crazy as we went back, we sort of talk about the keys to victory between West and Olathe East. One of the things we talked about West needed to do for keys to victory was shut down the run. And as we're looking at the statistics here, 7, 9, 10 rushes for 22 yards. West has done a really good job of doing that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. They've done a good job of stopping what Olathe East is good at, which is a lot of the time getting to the outside, running a little speed option, but a lot of time getting downhill, getting between that tackle where their H-back lines up, and getting through there and make sure that their defensive line is doing a good job of creating piles so that there's not a lot of run gaps for them to run through. And
interestingly, we were talking about, really we didn't think that we hadn't seen much downfield early in the first half of the season for Bergeron, but 6 of 7 for 125 yards is really in the difference in the game.
Yeah, I kind of downplayed his throwing downfield a little bit in the beginning of the game, but he has done an excellent job of creating plays and staying in the pocket and throwing the football downfield to his big playmakers, and that's come up with them a lead here to start the second half.
And a big thing for West in that first half was that 8.5-minute drive. When you eat up over a third of the first half on a drive and get a score, it's big time there. So Michael Clark with the popped up catch, taken at the 20-yard line. It's going to be taken up by Grooms, and he's going to be tackled about the 37. So a 17-yard return for Grooms up to the 37, and Olathe East will start there, 1st and 10, with 11:52 here to go in the third quarter. Again, Bergeron as the quarterback is 6 of 7 for 125 yards, and his big target so far has been Darius Bibbs with 4 catches for 84 yards. Fountain in the backfield with Bergeron. There's the give to Fountain. He's going to take it straight up the middle, and he's got about 4. We'll generous 4. It's about a 3.5-yard game, but we'll give him 4 on that one.
Yeah, Fountain did a good job of following his blockers and getting downhill and make sure he can get every yard he can off a quick pop down the gut.
And they did do a good job. They did do a good job in the first half of limiting Fountain on the ground. It looked like there's a ball out, and it looks like West ball. They're signaling that they have it, and that is
West ball. Yeah, that's what we've been talking about too, is coming up with turnovers and capitalizing on turnovers. So West got to do a good job here of capitalizing here and getting down there and score to even out the score.
So a gain of 8 for Fountain. but he coughs it up at the end of the run, and West will take over 1st and 10 at the Olathe East 47-yard line. So a nice turn of events there for the Vikings as they take over after the fumble, the 47-yard line. There's the pitch back to Kenny. He doesn't have a lot of room to run. He's trying to get outside, but he's going to be taken down by Matlack.
And I tell you what, Matlack is a force to be reckoned with there when he gets outside and gets up to your line, up to your offensive lineman, because his arms are so long that once he puts his hands on them, if you have a smaller lineman, which Wes has a lot of there on the outside, he puts their hand on him and he gets his extension. And once he gets his extension, he can move him or them any way he wants him to.
And he gets a tackle for a loss there on Kenny back to the 48-yard line. Clark under center. There's the give. Nope, he's going to keep it. Sneak back up inside, and then he's going to lose another yard. So 2 plays and 2 lost yards. West will have a 3rd and 12 from the 49-yard line.
Yeah, I think there. I'm not sure if he was supposed to pitch the ball, but I think being a playmaker, he saw how all of the defensive players there crashed on him. I think if he got a pitch out there, maybe out there to Kenny, Kenny might have could have busted that for maybe a good big gain there.
So it'll bring up 3rd and 12 here. Clark in the I, Kenny in the dotting that I, and there's going to be the give to him, and he's got a nice run up the middle. He's up to the 43-yard line, so a gain of 6 there on 3rd down, but it'll still be a 3rd and 6.
I tell you what, Hezekiah Newman does a good job of coming up and filling tackles. Even with a big game there by Kenny, Hezekiah Newman did a good job coming up and filling that tackle, because if he wasn't there or didn't completely fill there on Kenny, Kenny could have busted that for a big gain.
He gets 6, but he needed 12, and Ruben Anderson will be out to punt, see if they can get them hopefully inside the 10-yard line. Line of scrimmage being the 43. A 40-yard punt would be really nice right here. Nobody back to field this, and it's going to take a sideways bounce and go out about the 16-yard line. So a 27-yard punt, and Olathe East survives the fumble and loses themselves really about 30 yards of field position on the fumble.
And that's one of the things that West just has to be better on, is capitalizing on turnovers. You get the ball, good field position right here, probably a little bit before the 50-yard line. You just have to capitalize and go down and score, or at least attempt a field goal, get in field goal range to be able to at least attempt a field goal.
So 1st and 10, 8:53 left to go here, 14-6 Olathe East. And there's going to be movement on the east side. It's going to take him back 5 more yards. Illegal procedure on the Hawks. It'll take them back from the 16-yard line back to the 11-yard line. Bring up 1st and 15. Olathe East is going to have 3 receivers to the left. Nobody to the right. They actually leave
So that little bubble that you
that little bubble
about.
screen outlet, and Bibbs. Bibbs has a nice gain up to the 20-yard line, so a gain of 9. The 20-yard line, a gain of 9 will make it 2nd and 6 now. Interesting, they had 3 receivers out. They leave a tackle uncovered on the right side of the line when they ran that play.
It was honestly a big play if they were in better field position.
So Bergeron's going to give it straight ahead to Fountain. Fountain's going to take it for about 2 up to the 28-yard line, or excuse me, 23-yard line, and it'll bring up a third down, 3rd and 4, sort of a 3rd and 3. It's going to be a very long 3 or a short 4. They do have to get to the 26-yard line. So there's the keeper, and Bergeron's going to get it. He's got it by up to the 28-yard line. You know, the interesting thing, when they run, they're overloading side. Now, they may be overloading with receivers, but they're leaving a tackle on when they went to the left, they left the right tackle uncovered. When they came to the right here, they left the left tackle uncovered. So, sort of tipping off which way they're going, depending on from formation wise.
Right, and that also creates a problem for the West defense, because with that tackle being left unguarded, it's easier for that tackle to get up and get to your second level and be able to move him out the way. So it creates more of a running gap.
So Washington with a little motion. Bergeron's going to keep it, and he's met by Wesley Clark, but he takes him ahead for a little bit more gain, and he's got an 8-yard gain up to the, we'll give him a 9-yard gain up to the 37-yard line. Nice run by Bergeron on first down to get 9. He did a good job of, Wesley came up to fill, and but he had a head of steam up, and he took Wesley about 2 yards forward on that.
Yeah, Wesley tackled him tough. Wesley hits him down in his thigh boards. He's definitely stopping him right where he met him at.
There's the give to Fountain. He's got a seam outside. He's all the way up into West territory to the 47-yard line. So a 20-yard gain from, 16-yard gain to the 47-yard line, and that'll be another first down. And interestingly, we'll see what happens here. The Olathe East coach is really in the ear of the head linesman on their sideline. He's not happy at all. Not sure what he's arguing about, but he's not happy.
Just as we were talking about right before this half started, we were talking about how well West has stopped the run, and Olathe East come out with a different tenacity and just started getting downhill and make sure they're hitting their gaps and running hard.
And Fountain's got that one ahead for about 7 yards. He takes it up to the 41-yard line. So we'll give him 6. Six-yard gain on first down will make it 2nd and 4.
I tell you what, big 63 Christian Cogs for Shawnee Mission West. He looks a little dazed out there. He got pancaked there and looks a little dazed. Took a while to get up, so we'll see how that plays out.
Bergeron in the shotgun. There's the give to, he's going to keep it and come around the left side. He's up with the first down into inside the 35-yard line, all the way down to the 32-yard line. It's interesting when he runs, he puts 2 arms around the ball and makes sure he doesn't give it up.
No, and he's not afraid. It looks like he's not afraid of contact at all. He's lowering his shoulder and running hard to make sure he's getting every yard he can with contact in his face. So, yeah, he looks like he's a big threat to run it downhill.
So 6-0, about coming on 6 minutes left to go. A nice drive here by Olathe East down to the West 31-yard line. Washington going out to...
There's a big play action right down the middle of the field.
Yeah.
And that's good defense there by Wesley
Nice
Clark.
job by Wesley Clark to recover. He had Sonner.
And he just barely got there.
He had Sonner running down the seam, and Wesley Clark came up and over and broke that up in the back of the end zone. A nice play by Wesley Clark.
He looks a little hurt there in the back of the end zone as well.
You know, the one thing that was really interesting to see, the man who went in motion, Washington, he went in motion and then went to the end. He actually covered up the guy on the other side. They're coming very close to covering up eligible receivers. They've already got called twice for an eligible receiver downfield, and I think that's because of the way they're lining up.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes as this game plays out. And again, there's Fountain taking it ahead. He's up for a 3-yard gain up to the 29-yard line, or a 2-yard gain from 31 to the 29-yard line, and they'll bring up a big 3rd and 8 play here. Fountain gets 2 on that, but that's his 6th carry for 36 yards on the night.
The half.
On the night so far. Oh. There's a
Screen. Oh, somebody
inside,
tipped it.
Knocked down
Nice.
inside. Nice play. So that was 6 carries on 36 for 36 yards in the second half alone. And that inside screen's broken up, and it'll bring up a 4th down. It should be, the yard marker says 3rd, but it's definitely 4th down. And they need to get the chains set up because it is not 3rd down. It is 4th and 8. There we go. They flipped it there. So 4th and 8 from the 29-yard line.
Mr. Burnt time.
I'm looking for Bibbs. And he's looking for Bibbs. And it's incomplete. And just a little bit thrown too high, and West will take over on downs with 4:54 left to go here.
And that's definitely what you need.
Quarter.
There.
Ashley, yeah, absolutely. Needed that stop, got it. So, and that was a good drive that they had going. They had really started that drive, the 16, but really from the 11 after that 5-yard penalty, and drove all the way down to the 30-yard line. It was nice to get a stop.
Yeah, Westercar came up big there on that first down throw, and they just started stopping the run, which what's been eating them that whole drive, and they did a good job of getting off the field on 4th down.
So West with first down at the 29-yard line. First time we've seen Clark in the shotgun, and they just pinned their ears back and came after that one.
Yeah, I think West here will have to run like a little play action maybe, because those defensive ends have no – I don't think they have any job besides crash. I haven't seen much of them getting outside and keeping their outside contained. They just crash down and fill the hole, because that's what West has done this whole game. And I think Olathe East figured that out once they figured out that Weston Moore was going to be out, and CJ's out too as well. So I think that's what their job is, and I think West has to do a job of figuring that out and coming up with something different.
Loss of 4. Again, Clark in the shotgun. The first time they've been in a shotgun all night long.
No, I think it was a false start.
Timeout. Olathe East.
Olathe East had 12 men on the field. So that's why they called their timeout, because they only had.
So what's their coach bitching about?
So Olathe East has to burn their first time out of the second half. Again, a 14-6 game right now. Olathe East with the lead. 4:12 left to go in the third quarter. And you know what we're talking about. West was under center the whole time in the first half, and the first two plays so far in the second half, they've started in the shotgun.
Yeah, I think they're trying to do something different. I mean, it can be a good thing, but I think when you haven't put it in, you haven't mixed it in as well in the first half as well, it kind of gives away what you're doing a little bit.
So we'll see if it's going to be more of a Wildcat style offense in the second half, as opposed to the more traditional I formation. But here will be second down and 14. Clark gets the snap. He's going to have to get it. He's lost another 5 yards. Just mishandled snap right there, and that'll take it back to the 20-yard line. It'll bring up a big third and 19.
And I think that's what happens when you have a quarterback that hasn't been in there a while, hasn't got a feel for the center as well. Maybe he's had, like 1 week of practice, 4 days solid of practice. And it's kind of hard to, get a feel of being the first-time quarterback in there with your center, but you still have to do a good job of holding on the ball. He kind of just mishandled that one there and lost 5 yards.
Oh, it snapped over his head, too.
So there's the third down play, and they'll be give to Kenny, and he's going to sneak forward. He's got a good gain. Nice gain up to the 27-yard line. Not enough for the first down, but he got 7 of those yards back, and a nice gain, and they'll bring up a punt here with about 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Probably take the clock just under 3 minutes before this ball snapped. Reuben Anderson inside his own 15-yard line is 13, ready to receive the snap. There's the kick. Nice kick by Reuben Anderson. It's going to drive Bibbs all the way back inside to the 28-yard line.
That's a block in the back there.
And he went a long ways for a 2-yard gain, but he got a two-yard return. So a 45-yard. So we get a 45-yard punt by Reuben Anderson. It looks like a 2-yard return, but there's also going to be a probably most likely a block in the back.
They didn't.
That
did
flag
they?
is a hold. They got it.
Okay.
They got it called. The flag was in the middle of the field there, so that'll take him back another 10 yards. Reuben Anderson with a nice punt there, 45 yards. 2:33 left to go here. Anybody missing an iPhone?
Well, it was the women's room, so probably none of us.
Oh, okay.
It might be Mike's.
Oh, okay. That's where Mike is.
It's probably one of my daughters.
That's where Mike is tonight. I wonder why he didn't make it his way up to the booth. So, 1st and 10 for Olathe East on their own 22-yard line. Bergeron pitches to Fountain, and he's got a nice run up to the 30-yard line. Gain of 8 on first down, and nice little pitch, almost a sideways pitch for that first down. So we'll bring up 2nd and 2, the 30-yard line. 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Bergeron in the pistol with Fountain behind him. Washington set to the right. There's the give straight ahead to Fountain, who's going to take it ahead to the 36-yard line. That'll be a gain of 6 and a first down. Clock stops for a moment to set the chains, and it'll restart.
They pretty much run the same 3 plays.
Yeah, they have for most of the night. As we were saying, for the most of the time, it's been Bergeron or Bibbs or Fountain that have had the ball in their hands. And there's the give to Fountain straight up the middle. He's got about 3 maybe to the 49-yard line. But we were talking about last week, we were saying it's a 3-man game here. Last week Olathe West was basically a 2-man game. It was either Burge keeping or Favreau.
Yep.
And they did a great job. That Favreau is a really good runner for the Owls.
He's only a sophomore too, right?
He is only a sophomore. Not a huge kid, but pretty well built.
Yeah,
and,
he ran hard.
He did run very hard. So 2nd and 7. There's the give on the jet sweep.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Jordan Epling's trying to get out of bounds or trying to get upfield. We got a late hit.
Just wasn't a smart play there by Luke Jones of spinning him out of bounds. He made contact with him maybe a half second before he was still in bounds and spun him out of bounds. He kept going after he hit the whistle and threw him down to the ground, which caused a penalty there. And it just wasn't a smart play, especially being down here with 38 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Like, you can't afford those type of plays late in the game, especially being down.
So it'll be 1st and 10 after the 15-yard penalty on the Vikings. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line for Olathe East. Big break for them, as they would have had about a 3rd and 4 to make, but now they're 1st and 10 inside West territory. Washington set to the right. It's going to be thrown across that.
That's a backwards pass.
Could be. They called that live. I think it really did maybe go straight down the line, but it could have been forward. But it's going to be a loss of 2 for Burge on that play. Loss of 2 running yards for Burge on that play. Back to the 45-yard line.
This is going to be the end of the quarter. I don't think they'll get the playoff here.
No, I think they're going to be. They won't. That's the end of the quarter. And as the quarter ends, the third quarter ends, 12 minutes left to play. It's 14-6, Olathe East. We'll be right back after these timeouts. Coming back here to start the fourth quarter, 14-6, Olathe East up. They have the ball, 2nd and 12 at the West 45-yard line. Bergeron back in the shotgun by himself. He's looking to throw there, and he's got Byers.
And as that far judge, I just don't think you can give him that spot. He jumped backwards himself, which is him running backwards.
Yeah, you can't give that spot. You've got to, and that's not his to give.
Correct.
That's
but you have
this
to be the
side to
coastline
give.
judge.
But yeah,
But this guy gave it to him.
he caught it, but he's the one who jumped back. He
Correct.
wasn't pushed back. So they do give him a gain all the way up to the 40-yard line. So it's a gain of 5 yards, bring up 3rd and 7. And
They got to hurry. They got 5 on the play clock.
5 on the play clock, and they just get it off. And they have Sonner, and that's that big tight end. It's his first catch of the evening. He's out at the
First down.
33-yard line, has just enough for the first down. So a gain of 7 on 3rd and 7, and it's a first down for Olathe East, the West 33-yard line. Burge again in the shotgun. He's got Bibbs running the jet motion, but he doesn't do it. He's going to boot out to the right.
Get that gauge.
That could
That's
be
grounding.
grounding. That should be grounding. He was out of the tackle, and it was past the line of scrimmage. Oh, they threw it. That's the most nonchalant grounding call I've ever seen in my lipe. It's just he picked it up. Never even just dropped it out of his pocket.
I think he tried to secretly do it to make sure to say he did it earlier, how late it was.
And he waved it off.
Oh, wow. So you throw it late to wave it off.
Much more demonstrative waving it off than he was dropping it. I'll give him that much.
I think he meant to wave off more than
Then they asked this guy over here, and he goes like, I don't know.
So it'll be a incomplete pass, 2nd and 10 at the 33-yard line.
I don't know why they went away from running the ball.
We'll see. Burge, I'm back to last week. Bergeron, I got my B's messed up. Bergeron is going to give it on the Jets, he's going to keep it. He's got straight ahead for about 2. He's trying to get Epting on that little jet sweep action. but he keeps it, goes ahead for 2 yards.
Third down.
3rd and 8.
They'll probably go for it on 4, so you got to
You would think they would definitely go
hold
for
them
it.
here or try hold them here.
Yeah, and in this field position, you would think definitely if they don't get it here that they'll be going for it on 4th down. But for right now, it's 3rd and 8. Bergeron back in the shotgun with Fountain with him. He's going to throw, and there's going to be
I think that's going to be that.
there's got a false start. So 3rd and 8 is going to become 3rd and 15. And it's time for Mr. Bibbs to show up if you're Olathe East, I'm sure.
Definitely, it's definitely what he's done on on a lot of the 3rd down, 3rd and long so far today. So it's definitely what he's going to have to do is step up here. And if you're Shawnee Mission West, I still would just stick to what you're doing right now. They're playing solid defense, so stick to what you're doing. Make sure you're covering everybody, staying in your zone, staying in your gaps, and coming up and make the tackles.
So 3rd and 13 from the 36-yard line. Bergeron back there with Fountain. He's got a stack set to the right, and Washington's going to join him out there. He's going to be the receiver. That's going to get picked off.
Go, Wesley, go, Wesley, go, Wesley.
Inside the 5. He's got to run. He can run it out. He's the 30, 35. Oh, he fumbles out of bounds, but
That's okay.
nice hit by Bergeron, but Wesley Clark with the interception at the 5-yard line and takes it all the way out to the 35-yard line. A big play. Big play, because we talked about, you knew they were going to go for it on 4th down, but Wesley makes a pay.
Yeah, that right there. If you're Wesley Clark, that was a great play coming up with the big interception there. And when you run the ball, you just have to make sure you hold on to the ball when you run out of bounds, because that could have been another turnover right there in the same play, and it could have popped back and get the ball would have run right back to the
right back to the line of scrimmage. They would have had 1st and 10. But so Wesley and a little bit of movement, but nothing called there. And Kinney's going to take it ahead to the 40-yard line. So a gain of about 5 on 1st down. He's going to be
Handoff to 26.
nice job by Andrew Kinney there. And that's the thing. Wesley Clark makes the interception, runs it back, gets popped, and go back in there and play quarterback.
He's probably a little winded, being out there on the field, but that's part of high school, though. You play two ways in high school.
So Bullock out to the wide to the left, and Clark's going to look to keep it. He's gets up inside, but met right after a gain of about 1. He's got 1 forward to the 42-yard line, and he'll bring up a big 3rd and 3 play at the 42-yard line.
And here's where you got to capitalize, Dave and Chris. It's just they haven't done a good job of that in the past couple of possessions, but here's where you got to capitalize. There's 9 minutes left to go here in the 4th quarter. You're down by a touchdown. You just simply have to come up with draw a play up, come with a better play, get the 1st down here, and keep moving the ball down the field.
Bootleg.
So Clark in the little power pistol formation for West. There's the snap, and he's going to boot to his right, and he's got Luke Jones. Nice job. He's got up to the 40, 35, 30. He steps out right at the 32-yard line. Nice play by Luke Jones, and a really good job, too, by Caden Richardson throwing a block downfield that sprung him for that extra yardage.
Yeah, that was a really good play on his feet by Luke Jones there, and it's definitely a good play by Wesley Clark of waiting for the defense to get closer to him. It was kind of risky, but it was definitely a good play, waiting for the defense to get closer to him. So Luke Jones had a lot more space and had a lot more grass to get out there and go.
I don't know if he stepped out, honestly.
Big gain down to the 32-yard line for Luke Jones, and that sets up West with a 1st and 10. There's the give to Kinney. He sidesteps a man, but then can't beat the second guy. And
33.
Marcos Flores with the tackle and a loss
That
for
situation,
2.
you just got to get yardage. Just go forward. Don't be dancing around.
So loss for 2 right there. And he beat the first man, but he couldn't get around Flores, the second guy.
Just like we've been talking about, Olathe East is just full heads downfield. They see the pass or they see the run automatically. They see the downhill play. They're streaming downfield. Their ends are still crashing extremely hard.
So 2nd and 12 at the 34-yard line. Clark rolling out to his right. He's trying to elude Matlack. doesn't get it. He gets hit hard at the 32-yard line, so he gets the 2 yards back, but it'll bring up 3rd and 10 there.
And here's 3rd down and 10 again. You just have to get yards on 1st and 2nd down. It's just something you have to do. If you're down here in the 4th quarter, you just have to get yards.
No. So we'll gain a 1 yard there to the 33, and it'll be a 3rd and 11, and West will take a timeout here as they talk things over. And as West talks things over, Viking Touchdown Club would like to thank tonight's program sponsor, The Other Place American Sports Grill and Pizzeria. The Other Place, located in downtown Overland Park, has been cooking its signature pizza for over 45 years using homemade sauce and the finest ingredients. The Other Place is our official pre- and post-game sponsor. Wear your Viking gear in before or after the game and receive 10% off your order at The Other Place American Sports Grill and Pizzeria. The VTC would also like to thank another of tonight's program sponsors, the Paul Ridgway Agency. An American family agent, the Paul Ridgway Agency is winner of the American Star Excellence Award in Customer Experience. The Paul Ridgway Agency provides coverage and services that provide peace of mind to help you enjoy all of life's victories. And we'll come here as West coming back onto the field with a 3rd and 12 here, a big 3rd down play here for the West Vikings. 7:15 left to go in this game. They're down by 8. They need a score here on this drive. There's a fumble. I think he was down. So.
And that's just not what you needed on 3rd and 10. Now it's 4th and long. You have to, I don't know if you go for it here, Dave.
You kind of got to, don't you?
You got 7 minutes left. If it's one.
We got 2 timeouts.
Yeah, I'm in between trying to pin them deep and get the stop. But we'll see here.
I'm pretty sure Mike Williams can beat this corner.
6:40 left to go here. Here's the big 4th down play. Wesley Clark looking downfield, and he's going to have to throw it. And he throws it up, and it's picked off. And
41 was
Hezekiah Newman is going to take it all the way back just past midfield. He's tackled by Wesley Clark there, and he's down. He's down hurting for right now, but
I just simply don't think that right there was a good play to run there. It was really quadruple covered there on the outside. You had both safeties, a corner, and an outside linebacker sitting on him. It wasn't a good ball to throw. You could have looked the other side, but also wasn't a good play to run. It's what happens when you have 2 receivers and you single man each receiver. You don't have anything. You don't have any short routes. You don't have any under routes. You just have 2 deep routes.
Yeah, Olathe East just kind of. They just kind of sold out for the deep pass there. Put 5 guys at the sticks, and there were 2 West guys there. It's kind of a leap of. It's a throw. Close your eyes and throw it to the sticks and see if somebody can make a play.
At first, you're thinking just knock the ball down because you would get better field position. But he did get a good return inside West territory.
West just has to come up with a big stop here or a big turnover and capitalize on that turnover.
6:23 left to go, and West does need to stop here. Give to Fountain. He's going to take it straight ahead, and he's got a nice run all the way up to the 42-yard line. West looks like they're going to take their timeouts here.
I don't know if I'm going to waste a timeout with 6 minutes and 15 seconds left.
I don't do it after a big 1st down gain.
So a gain of 6 on 1st down, and it'll be 2nd and 4. West takes the 2nd of their timeouts. They'll have 1 left. 6:15 left to go here, and needless to say, guys, down 8, you really need a stop here, and you need it fairly quickly.
I think not only do you need a stop, you definitely need a big turnover if you can. Maybe another pick or a fumble. They're doing a good job of running the ball hard, but are they securing the ball while they're running it? I don't know if they're going down there trying to strip the ball or anything, but you definitely have to come up with a turnover, let alone and just stopping them here.
Yeah, I don't think Olathe East is putting the ball in there, barring a long third down here, but just maybe put a hat on the football. You're right.
Right.
See if you can pop it out and heck, maybe get a return off that. But
definitely
just need the ball back in the offense's hands.
So in the second half, Fountain has 10 carries for 59 yards. Bergeron 4 carries for 25 yards. Fountain does have the one big fumble that gave West a good field position, but they weren't able to capitalize. 2nd and 4 here, 6:15 left to go. There's the keeper. That ball's on the ground, and that's West ball.
Right there.
West ball. And you said you needed a turnover, and they tried the little give.
That's exactly what we were talking about there, Josh. Is a big turnover that they need. Is a fumble or anything, and they've got it.
Here's going to be the very interesting thing. It looked very much like West got on that ball and got it first. Bergeron's the one carrying the ball off the field, and I can say Olathe East is not going to be happy that they're carrying the ball off the field, but West has got the ball at the 43-yard line.
Right.
So a mishandled snap or a mishandled exchange between Bergeron and Fountain, and West has the ball at the 43-yard line. There's the give to Kinney, and they're just running upfield at West right now.
I think you just have to throw the football. Like nothing big has happened on the run or anything like that. Just throw the football. Run the play action. The Buddhas worked pretty well today. The play action downfield. Why don't you get a play action and run one of your men right down the field? If
you want a safe pass to do that has been West bread and butter is that boot play action pass to the fullback, or either the fullback or the tight end rolling out of the pocket. They've just got to get something because East is just pinning their ears back and just coming at the rush right now. And they just did it again. And there's another tackle 2 yards deep in the backfield, and it's another loss on the play. And the thing is, Andrew Kinney is going to go down in his stats for loss, but he really had nowhere to run right there on both plays.
He really hasn't had a lot of space to run the whole night. Olathe East is pinning their ears back and coming uphill on every single run play, and there's at least 2 to 3 men in the backfield by the time he gets the handoff in his hands.
So 3rd and 12 at the 41-yard line. Clark back to throw, and he's being rushed. And there's the pass to Caden Richardson, but knocked out of his hands at the 48-yard line, 47-yard line, right at the sticks. It would have been a first down if he was able to complete it, but it's going to bring up a 4th and 12.
And I think that play right there is something you run on 1st or 2nd down to try to move the ball like that. You see what happened there. They almost got a completion here and got them 10-plus yards. Why wouldn't you run that on 1st down instead of trying to run the football? And they're going to go out and punt the football here.
So they're going to punt the football here. Ruben Anderson will punt at line of scrimmage at the 41-yard line. They only have 10 guys, so they're punt with 10 guys. We'll see what happens with the coverage. And it takes a sideways bounce. They'll kill at the 33-yard line. So only a 26-yard punt.
And I don't know what the coaches are thinking here. They can get another turnover here in the 4 minutes, but Olathe East hasn't had any trouble here the second half of running the football at all. And they've done a good job of getting downhill and make sure the clock stays running and make sure and not only is Olathe East doing a good job. West started to use one of their timeouts, so they have one timeout here left in the 4th quarter with 4 minutes and 41 seconds left. So I guess you have to trust your defense to get a stop here and get off the field.
Hopefully they can get another turnover, but definitely need a stop here. 4:41 left to go. Olathe East up 14-6. They have the ball at their own 33-yard line. There's the give to Fountain. He's up to, and he's breaking it all the way up to the 42-yard line. So a nice gain of 9 on 1st down.
I wouldn't mess around. The they fumbled last time on a little mesh point on a read action. I think East is either going to stay with just a designed run to Fountain, or Bergeron's just going to keep the ball.
Yeah, they can't risk having another turnover there on the read.
Yeah, because West's offense hasn't been explosive enough to be able to turn the ball over.
And there's Fountain. He's ahead for 5. And, you know, Josh, you were talking about West in the second half. 9 yards on 8 carries for Kinney, -9 on 5 for Clark, and just tough, and only, 2 of 4 for Clark passing. So So, you were talking about not a lot of offense there, and those second half stats basically show it. No gain on first down here. We'll bring up a second and 10, and West takes their last time out of the game.
And I think that's a great use of that last time out right there after no gain on first down. It sets you up well. You understand that East has to go 10 yards with one less down instead of like on a short. The last time they used it on a short second down, it's just a better use of your timeout here.
And Viking Touchdown Club would like to thank tonight's program sponsor, Titan Environmental Services, owned by a Shawnee Mission West football family. Let Titan Environmental help with testing or removal of lead, asbestos, or mold. For all your environmental needs, call Titan Environmental Services. Viking Touchdown Club would also like to thank one of tonight's program sponsors, IMCO Workforce Solutions. Owned by a Shawnee Mission West football family, IMCO Workforce Solutions provides workforce design and recruiting solutions for businesses and job opportunities for individuals in manufacturing, warehouse, logistics, engineering, and medical industry. And there's the give to Fountain. He's going to take it
Going to be a flag there on Big 75 on the Olathe East. I think
so,
he'll be holding.
He's got a gain of about 5 or 6 on the play, but it's going to be taken back. So a gain of 6 is going to be wiped out there. See if that's looks like that's about 2 yards downfield. So it'll end up being about a 8-yard penalty. And that'll bring up 2nd and 18. Good for West that got longer to go, but not good for West that gives them an extra play.
Yeah, they got to, but they absolutely have to just tackle here. Get to the point of attack and tackle. East has to go 18 yards on 2 plays. You just gotta get there and tackle and not let anybody slip through here.
So there's the pitch out to Fountain. He's got a head of steam going up until about the 45-yard line, and he's got a gain of 7 on 2nd and 18, but a big 3rd and 11 play here. And here's where I would usually say we're going to look for Mr. Bibbs, but unless it's one of the safest passes you'll ever see, maybe a bubble screen, I don't see them putting the ball in the air.
Yeah, I see them running the ball here. They've done a good job of picking up pretty big yardage on run plays. And if I'm Olathe East to keep the clock moving, I'm definitely gonna try to keep running the clock out, let the clock keep going, and run the football here and see if you can pick up a first down.
So there's down to 5-4 on the play clock. They just get it off.
Got a timeout in.
Call a timeout here.
They called timeout. There was still about 2 on the play clock when they called their timeout. So Olathe East uses their first timeout of the second half. 2:13 left to go, and you got to say, if you're West, the ball game pretty much rides on this play right here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you don't get the ball back here. Olathe East can just run out the clock and the game's over. So it's a big 3rd down and 11 here. honestly, if I was Olathe East, I'd keep the ball on the ground and try to pin West deep if you don't get the first down. Running about 40 seconds off the clock again, so West would get the ball back at best with 1:20 and have to drive over half the field, which they've done one time today, but it took 8 minutes.
8.5-minute drive, yeah, and they don't have that much time to deal with. So we come back out of the timeout, 3rd and 11 at the 45-yard line. Washington set over to the left. There's the keeper from Bergeron, and he gets the first down, and that's the game. That's going to be the game. Bergeron just wrapped 2 hands around that ball, and he took it forward all the way up to the 43-yard line, and they needed 11, and he got them 13.
That's a grown man run right there by Bergeron. He's a big dude, bigger than most guys on West defense, but he just kind of took it and wasn't saying no for getting that first down.
So we're down to 8 seconds on the play clock, and I would see it'll be interesting to see what they run here. There's the give to Fountain. He's down to the 35-yard line, about a gain of 8 there. So VTC would like to thank another one of tonight's program sponsors, Martin Tynes Agency. The Martin Tynes Agency is locally owned by alumni of the Shawnee Mission West football families and the preferred agent for many Viking families. For all your home, auto, or business insurance needs, let the Martin Tynes Agency provide you with a quote to lower your insurance costs. 1:08 left to go here. 2nd and 2. Washington set over to the left. Fountain takes it forward for about 1.5. We'll give them 1 yard, and it'll be a 3rd and 1. They can take this down to about 15 seconds when they step the clock.
You'd think they go to a knee here. I thought they would on first down anyways, but it looks like they may.
You can't. I was surprised that they ran it and ran the risk of turning the ball over there.
Yeah, especially they had that zone read look with the mesh point. It doesn't matter. It looks like they're going to a knee though.
And they will go to the knee here, and that'll be set with 14 seconds left. Officially a loss of 4 on the play for Bergeron. But that'll do it. The last few seconds run off the clock, and that'll put the final touches on a 14-6 Olathe East victory. We'll be right back with some game stats and the Shawnee Mission West show right after the game. So, and we'll go with the scoring recap for the entire game. Olathe East scored first, 2:41 left to go in the first quarter on a Bergeron to Bibbs 29-yard pass. Extra point was good and made it 7-0. West then scored with 6:05 left to go in the first half on a Wesley Clark 5-yard touchdown run. The extra point was no good, and Olathe East still scored led 7-6. That scoring drive was a 17-play, 80-yard drive that took 8.5 minutes. Olathe East answered with a 3-minute and 10-second 7-play drive that covered 66 yards and finished on a 36-yard touchdown pass from Bergeron to Fountain. Extra point was good, and with 2:53 left to go before halftime, Olathe East led 14-6, and that's where it was. nothing doing scoring-wise in the second half from either team. Olathe East fumbled twice, but West was not able to capitalize on any, as West punted 3 times in the 3 times on 4 possessions in the second half. The other one ended on a 4th down interception. It was basically a punt after a really nice, actually what was a fairly nice drive by West, but just couldn't convert. So that's where it finished at 14-6. And we'll be right back here in a second with some game or individual statistics and the West band. Coming back for the West Pride Band and their post-game show, as they weren't able to perform during halftime because of the homecoming festivities. We'll get them going, and then we'll come back with the individual statistics after the band is over.
Lights being bright and colorful and energetic, followed by death, somber and reserved, and the finale, fired and reversed. Drum majors are Grace Moya, Mason Riley, and Amelia Hart. Soloists are Carver Cardell on trumpet and Alex McCarthy on trombone.
And that'll be the West halftime show in postgame for tonight. We go some individual statistics for tonight. First for Olathe, or for Shawnee Mission West, in the second half, Wesley Clark, 2 of 4 for 31 yards. McDowell, and Jones with both of those catches. Kenny, 8 rushes for 9 yards. Clark, 5 rushes for -9 yards. 1 penalty for 15 yards. So not a lot of offense for West in the second half. Olathe East in the second half. Berggren, 3 of 8 for 21 yards. Fountain, 15 rushes for 89 yards. Berggren, 7 rushes for 34 yards. Bibbs, 1 rush for -2. Epting, 1 for 3. They had 4 penalties for 28 yards. Then for the game, go West finished, Clark finished 3 of 7 for 42 yards. Kinney with 41 yards rushing. Jones 13 yards rushing. Clark with 25 yards rushing, 1 TD. 40 penalty yards for the West in the game. McDowell 1 catch for 11 yards. Jones 2 catches for 31 yards. Clark did have an interception on defense too with a 32-yard return. Olathe East for the game. Berggren 6 of 7 of 125 yards. Fountain with Fountain with 104 yards of rushing. Berggren with 34 yards rushing. Bibbs with 5 yards rushing. And so, Josh, we go through it. Not a lot of offense either way, anywhere around in that game. And Russ really struggled on offense in the second half, punting 3 times and turning it over on an interception, on a 4th down interception play.
Yeah, West really didn't produce much of anything, obviously, after looking at the numbers. But in the second half, they didn't move the ball that well. They were hindered by a couple big penalties. And first half, they did all right. But Olathe East, it really helped West out with those 2 big turnovers. They were driving a little bit, and that slowed their drives and kind of kept West in the game. But all in all, defensive coaches put together some good game plans.
And unfortunately, West just couldn't capitalize on those turnovers there in the second half. They had the chance to, and fairly good field position on both of them, but just couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, they didn't get much going. Like I said, Olathe East just kind of stacked the box a little bit and put really everybody they had up near the line of scrimmage. Kind of challenged West to throw the football, and they really didn't get anything going. They kind of ran one wide receiver sets especially in the first half, but most of the game, and didn't really produce much of a passing game other than to the fullback out of the backfield.
Yeah, so not a lot much more can be said about that. They just didn't score a lot of points. I think they did a good job of for the most part, holding Olathe East down and shutting them down for the most part. They got some big plays. They got 2 big plays. They got the big touchdown pass to Bibbs and the big touchdown pass to Fountain. And really, other than that, West was really pretty good on defense.
Yeah, I was absolutely impressed with West has really struggled this year with giving up the big play, and they absolutely limited that today. Like you said, the 2 big plays, but other than that, Olathe East didn't really produce anything over 15 yards. And I thought they did a good job of keeping the ball in front of them and coming up and tackling.
And so that'll do it here from Shawnee Mission South District Stadium. A 14-6 Olathe East win tonight. Looking forward real quick to next week. Shawnee Mission West goes to play Shawnee Mission North at North District Stadium. North comes into tonight with they played last night and lost to Gardner Edgerton. They go into tonight. They go into next weekend or not winning a game, and you look at it. If West plays as a good game and as well as they can, that should be a game that they should be able to win.
Yeah, that's absolutely a winnable football game. Hopefully they get some pieces back, have some more weapons offensively and defensively. I thought they did a good job piecing together what they had this week, but get some of their weapons back, and it's absolutely a winnable football game against a not terrific North team.
So that'll be next week from North District Stadium. That'll be a Friday night game. We'll start the broadcast as usual at 6:45 and the game time at 7 o'clock. So for Josh Compton and Chris Turner and DJ Turner and Todd Walker and Caleb Walker, a big crew tonight. Thank you for everybody for doing everything. This is David Compton saying good night, and Josh, well, except for Mike. I don't know. Where is?
We don't
Mike,
need him.
Mike's someplace. Yeah, Mike who? Yeah, I don't know. Well, next week we won't say that.
Can I come up with a new phrase?
Yeah, you can, as long as it's appropriate.
Right.
So as we sign off, Josh, you go for your new phrase.
Vikes.
Okay, Vikes. Good night. We'll see you guys next week.